Joey Logano, Marcus Ambrose, a couple of youngsters enjoying a good afternoon here. This is the battle for 11th. Truex, Montoya, and Junior right behind him.
Truex has trouble there right in the center of the corner and just stacks him up. Earnhardt Jr. right on his tail. Seen a lot of guys go to the bottom now in turn 3.
Jeff Gordon trying to make it work in turn 1.
Biffle sitting there. Ninth spot right now, yeah.
Sam Hornish Jr., top 10 in both races here a year ago, working on Mark Martin in the tunnel turn. Hornish 16th, impressive day for him.
He was right along the 29. This is on the start.
Now these guys are 3 wide right here. He comes up off the corner and just turns left, and he gets that good run.
It's actually a huge draft. Huge 3 cars sitting there,
3
side
cars
by side.
Yeah, and we've heard everybody say how much drag these cars. Well, when the spoiler creates drag, it also creates that dead pocket of air behind them that allows the car to suck up to it.
It's like a huge garage door standing there in front of you.
Yeah.
Matt?
Adam, we documented in the Countdown to Green just how the entire RCR platform has improved, especially Harvick. 2 great races at Charlotte, a great run at Dover, and now for the first time in his Sprint Cup career, he's now leading laps at Pocono.
He got a good run there. Yeah.
Leading laps at Pocono. 18 trips to this facility. Harvick out front for the first time today.
Now Harvick busted loose just a little bit in turn 2, and that was just enough for Hamlin. He got through there really good. Now it's a drag race down the straightaway.
You can't make a mistake at this racetrack with Hamlin around you, or he will pounce. A 3-time winner here. He got the run down the front straightaway. Can he close the deal in 1?
And remember, these guys are only 5 or 6 laps on these tires, so these tires are still pretty good. This would have been an easy pass, or easier pass, I will say that. You know, 20 laps into a run, but I'm going to tell you, that 29 of Harvick was impressive right there to drive in on the outside and be able to maintain that. Here we are over the tunnel, and this is where Harvick had trouble the lap before, where he got a little free.
And it looks like he had trouble again, to be honest with you, because down the 18's underneath him.
And his teammates right behind him. So these guys, look how quickly the 18 and the 31 caught up. You see the 31 dive to the inside. When you can enter that corner on the bottom, you can carry that speed in. But you see right here, the 29 carries the speed off and down the straightaway.
We talk so much about the success of Hendrick Motorsports. How about Joe Gibbs Racing and Richard Childress? Top 4 positions right now at Pocono. Hamlin back out front.
Yeah, you know, it's been a little bit of a year, you know, 12, 13 races into this thing. It's been a little bit of a year of streaks, if you really look at it. You know, the Hendrick organization started off in the first 5 or 6 races. I'm thinking nobody's touching the 24 or the 48. They're just out in a league by themselves. Then they make the spoiler change 6 races in, and it's like nobody's going to touch the Gibbs organization. And then all of a sudden, the Penske organization raises its head a little bit, and they dominated Charlotte. They're not as competitive here, but still they're having a good run. But the Childress guys have been right there from the very beginning. If you go Daytona, California, Vegas, they're right there.
Joe Gibbs Racing and Richard Childress Racing sharing the honors out front today. The only 2 teams that have led under green. 106 laps complete at Pocono.
Welcome back to NASCAR on TNT from Pocono Raceway. Things heating up here at the track. Denny Hamlin has led 19 laps. He took over the lead back on lap 105 from Kevin Harvick. We want to give you the Verizon race summary. Things have been very, very active, but it started off not so much, Larry Mack. There have been 5 leaders, 9 lead changes. Look at that.
But as Adam Alexander pointed out before we went to commercial break, only 2 organizations have led under green today, and that's Joe Gibbs Racing, as Denny Hamlin's leading right now, and then the 2 cars of Richard Childress Racing, Kevin Harvick in the 29, Clint Boyer in the 33.
And of course, things started out a little bit hairy because we had that weather rolling in here. The storm clouds started. It was a downpour before the race could even get going. They had to fix the hole, but finally we're out there racing. You talked about the Childress and Gibbs dominance. I mean, look at these cars. You got to think that someone from one of these 2 teams is going to end the day in victory lane.
Well, and I think, you know, the big question is, can someone from one of these 2 organizations in the dominance of the 48 team on the big picture, and that's the championship. Kevin Harvick is leading the points right now coming in here. Kyle Busch in that 18 is second. And these 2 organizations, I mean, right now, head-to-head, they're beating the Hendrick organization.
Well, Jimmy Johnson, you talked about Hendrick. He gained 20 points since the start, 20 spaces rather, since the start of this race. You know that his car was fastest during one of the practices this weekend. Do you think that he's going to be a key factor towards the end?
I think there's no question, Lindsay. You know, we had 3 practices here, and that 48 car was the fastest in 2 of them, second quickest in the other one. He just didn't get that good qualifying lap in, and he needed that caution that came out just a few laps ago, lap 96. That let him catch up to all these guys we're seeing right there, and you see him sitting back there in the 5th position.
Larry, also Kyle Busch, though, man, he was complaining about his car a little bit earlier, but now look where he is. He's back in the 2 spot, and we want to take a look. Points as they run. Look right now, Kevin Harvick, obviously your points leader. Kyle Busch just 24 points behind Hamlin there, and we talked so much in the pre-race show about the guys knocking on the door to get in the top 12. Going to be a lot of movement, I would think, after today's race.
Well, we were just looking right there at the top 6 right now, and we've still got 88 laps to go because of the way he's run today and the fact that he's led a lap. Clint Boyer in that 33 car comes in here 4 points out of the top 12. As we run right now, he is in 11th. Ryan Newman would be bumped back out of the top 12 because Ryan Newman right now is back in the 20th position in that 39 car.
Clint Boyer, you had a chance to talk to him too a couple days back, and he was giving a lot of good insight about stuff that his organization he thinks has really taken a step forward.
Well, I think the biggest thing is when they went from 4 teams to 3 teams, it actually freed up, I think, one of the smartest crew chiefs over there, Scott Miller, who had actually been over there with Jeff Burton.
Yes.
Scott Miller is like the competition director. He is pretty much tying those 3 teams together, and I think that's something that's been missing in Richard Childress Racing. But like Clint pointed out to us, Lindsay, they've had some good runs. They had some freak things happen to them. He blew up at lap 50 at Bristol. They had a brake line issue at Darlington. He gets caught up in a wreck at Texas. He knows performance-wise they are chase material.
And you know, by the way, though, he did just tag the wall a little bit. We got a replay that we're going to show. Take a look at this. Did you see that, Larry Mack?
Well, he's led 59 laps, and I think this is coming up off of turn 3.
Yeah.
How many cars have we seen? And actually, Matt, he hit that wall pretty hard.
A very significant wall slap there on the 33 of Boyer. He just told his team that the car progressively getting freer and more free as the run progresses. Remember, he was out front. The car was great, just a tick free. But now Adam, Kyle, and Wally stuck back in traffic. He's lost a lot of the good balance in that 33 machine.
Yeah, and sometimes a lot of that is in your head as far as you're out there, you're out front, you got it, you're on your way, and you're just clicking off laps. Now all of a sudden, you've gone from the most dominant car out there. You know, you're sitting in 6th spot, and now you're starting to get a little bit desperate.
Yeah. How many times have you been leading a race or seen somebody leading a race, and they're letting the car do all the work, and then they get behind, and it's like, I got to help this car, and they get farther behind. And that happens sometimes.
You take a lap off, you may end up in the wall. That's what happened to Boyer. Hamlin leads, 114 complete. Under green in the Gillette Fusion ProGlide 500 presented by Target on TNT. 117 of 200 laps complete here this afternoon. Denny Hamlin continues to show the way. Now we take you through the field. Let's send it down to pit road, and we start off with Marty Snyder.
And this is a nice sunny Sunday cruise for Denny Hamlin. In fact, that's what he said. I'm cruising right now. And he actually said earlier, I'm being conservative. Remember in August when he was running back in the pack in 19th, he drove to the front. Denny running very well right now. So a little too tight in the turn 1. And the same is the case for Kyle Busch, his teammate. He said, I'm just a little too tight in the turn 1. Everything I gain in turns 2 and 3, I lose in turn 1. Matt?
Kevin Harvick provided the drama back on lap 101 when he made it 4 wide to take the lead. Now he says the 29 car sideways. It's free over in the tunnel turn, Marty.
Jeff Burton driving the car that he finished second with at Dover 3 weeks ago. He said it takes off early in the run, but the later they run, the looser this car gets for Burton. So they're hoping for a short run to finish this race, Ralph.
Jimmy Johnson's trucking along in 5th place right now in car number 48, but he's not feeling like the car is getting down into the track. Even though the car is good and balanced, it's not giving him the bite that he's looking for. Now, Casey Kane in car number 9 feels like early on in the run that the car